guys, and welcome back to Narcissu. So, let's just jump right back in. The summer day, which would soon transfer to the 7th floor. And so we became friends. Mello and Alois became friends. A few days after, as usual, I headed to the girl. Hot. As the early cicadas began to call in earnest, today again looked like it would be a hot day. After knocking, I opened the door. Good morning. Good morning. The same as yesterday. She lightly raised her body on the bed and exchanged greetings. Just a little bit. She seemed to be lowering her guard, but still, somewhere the girl was reserved. Did the morning temperature check finish already? Yes. It was 97.7 degrees Fahrenheit. I see. Then there's nothing to worry about, right? As I answered, I cleaned up the breakfast tray. With that, until the afternoon, I'd run out of things that I had to do. From the start, there wasn't much for helpers to do. Medical matters were the work of the doctors and nurses. Or at the most, it was on the level of taking temperatures and giving support in their daily lives. However, another way to say it would be that there was no upper limit to supporting their daily lives. And it was exactly for that reason that it wasn't the doctors or nurses, but the assigned helper that was given the name Alois. Well then, shall we go to the cafeteria? But I just finished eating. Ice cream! Ice cream! It's this hot after all. But she made a complicated face and looked down. She must be thinking of something besides politeness. Don't worry, One-san is buying. And so, as if I were giving her back a push, we headed to the cafeteria. Since it was still morning, there was a scattering of people. Within that, we sat next to each other at a table. So, tell me whatever you'd like. Okay, but like I said, don't be so reserved. As I spoke, I turned to the cafeteria menu. Then vanilla. Okay, vanilla. Got it. And what should I have? Wait, there's only one type of ice cream, isn't there? Looks like it. With this, there's no room for a choice, is there? Well, I'll go buy them quick. Leaving the girl seated, I headed to the counter. Looking around, children of a similar age as the girl were eating together with their mother or father. Of course, a child of that age eating alone in a hospital cafeteria was more strange. The girl's parents were already gone. Of course, the girl didn't know. Wasn't allowed to know. Here, sorry for the wait. Lots of ice cream. Yeah, the size was smaller than I expected, so I just bought one that would be... so I thought just one would be rather lonely. So, the norm is one person gets two, okay? Oh? Is it that you don't like ice cream? It's not that. If Mom sees me, she might get angry. Because she always said I couldn't have ice cream. Let's not say the wrong thing here. Saying that, she looked down sadly. It's alright, because One-san is with you. Really? Yes, and the doctors and nurses won't get mad either. Okay. And this time she happily extended her hand towards the spoon. It was probably a given, but since coming here she likely hadn't eaten any. However, someone of this child's age, there was no way that they would hate ice cream or chocolate. While pondering that, I watched the girl eating and, after just a few spoonfuls, once again her hand stopped. What's wrong? Oh yeah, Mom. Lately she hasn't been coming to visit. Before she came to visit me every day. I see. Beyond that I couldn't say any more. There was no need for this child to know. At least in my case, it didn't seem like I would be able to tell her. Your parents are long gone. You, all alone, from here on will go to the 7th floor. There was just no way I could say that. Sadly, I learned that it was a very common thing. Leaving behind only the patient, the family disappearing. There were probably various reasons. Financially, psychologically, I thought it was a very heartless and cruel act, but I couldn't rise to unilaterally blame the parents. I'm sorry, oh gosh, I'm like starting to cry. Leaving behind a child on a sick bed and disappearing. No parent would do so willingly. On top of the cliched words of being worn out from giving care. Their agonies and burdens must have been great. I just felt this world was sad. And once again I learned that it was another part of reality. What's wrong, One-san? Nothing. And instead of that, here, if you'd like, I can give you my share. But it's fine, don't hold back. Moving the girls' already finished dishes aside, I replaced them with my own dishes of ice cream. Is it good? This ice cream is good, isn't it? Saying that, she showed me a smile. The usually reserved girl smiled for the first time for me. With the hospital cafeteria's cheap vanilla, first time she looked at me with a happy face. A few days after, the burning sunlight and the sound of cicadas. Today I also headed to the girl's place. The other day she had been transferred to the 7th floor, but nothing in particular seemed to have changed. So, the greatest worry now was the question about her parents. I had no confidence in how I would answer that. The elevator bell rang. Good morning! It's hot today too, isn't it? I exchanged greetings with the nurse friend. How is it? Already used to here yet? Yeah, originally on the 5th floor, it was a single room too after all. The here that she spoke about was the 7th floor, and used to was, of course, not speaking about me. Could it be that you were together all night? Well, I'm used to sleeping on the spare beds. Really? When there's no guardians around, it's difficult in many ways, isn't it? At the words, I gave a vague nod. And by the way, what she was hinting at, how there were no guardians around. What she hinted at was that it wasn't that they had vanished without a trace, but that they no longer were in this world. The cause of death was something the nurses didn't tell me, and I only heard that it was an accident or sickness. The remaining possible causes of death were but one. And that was why no more was asked by either of us. Even in this modern age, for us Catholics, it was a great sin and a forbidden act. Well, if there's anything, just say it, okay? Yeah, thanks. I opened the door after knocking. Good morning, how are you feeling? Today seems good. As always, the girl raised her upper body in bed and looked over, and I sat down in the folding chair next to the bed. Then, just like that, we spent most of the whole day together. From the window, the bright sunlight shone on her profile, and once in a while, we would talk about little things. That was our usual appearance. Today the flowers are pretty too, aren't they? Decorating the windowsill were a number of small flower vases, in them shone bright white and yellows. A nurse decorated for me. I see, isn't that wonderful? As I answered, I added water to the vase of yellow gaberas, while the girl happily watched my actions. From a glance, it was the scene of a common everyday hospital room. However, the truth was different. In reality, visitors' flowers for the girl didn't exist. Since there are no relatives, there is no one to bring them. But at this hospital, especially for the 7th floor, someone always sent flowers. That was the nurses and us helpers. Everyone on the floor shared in it. And when even that wasn't enough, some were selected from the flower beds. That was also another part of the job. Even for the people who had absolutely no visitors, it was a situation where we made it so that there were always flowers. Do you like gaberas? Yes, but I like the white ones more. As she spoke, she pointed to the other vase, at the white lilies. Generally, as visiting flowers, their scent was too strong. The vase wasn't one that we prepared. But I could imagine who the sender was. A person who would send such a gift. There weren't that many. A church person brought those. Indeed, looks like they've decided to come. They said they'd come again. The girl happily answered that she likes lilies. Most likely it was a priest or a sister who had come to visit. Considering the girl's circumstances, it wasn't surprising that the church would do something like that. Even for people who were not of the faithful, they were included without distinction, and with a merciful spirit. In a way, it was exactly like this place. Before this girl, she probably didn't understand it much. Even if both parents were Christians, the girl herself had not been baptized and was young and innocent. Oh yes. About Mom and Dad? At the sudden question about the parents, I jumped. This was the thing I worried about facing the most. I was told they were on a long trip. Eh? So for a while they won't be able to come visit. Who said such a thing? I swallowed down the words of the immediate question. Perhaps a doctor or a nurse? There was also a chance it had been a priest or a sister. But no matter who it was, it didn't seem I would be able to contradict it. To speak of this lie, to say that we simply shouldn't lie, that it isn't evil. I wasn't childish enough to believe that would be the end of such matters. I didn't know who had said it, but their feelings were probably the same as mine. If someone from a long distance were to find an excuse to condemn this act, I would want them to teach us, who are directly in contact with things, some other way. If this act were to be called evil, then all of us, I suppose, would be evil people. Going along with the lie would probably mean I was an accomplice. I wonder if Mom will come back soon. Always, she'd make pudding for me. So, One-san, we'll eat it together, right? Yeah, I'll look forward to it. Beyond that, I couldn't find any words to reply with. It was just against that intense pressure of being able to say nothing. I couldn't help but string together whatever words I could. Oh yeah! Say, let's go to the cafeteria! But just before I ate breakfast. It's fine, I'll buy you ice cream again. Once again, as if pushing her from behind, we headed to the usual hospital cafeteria. The Nello and Aloisu became friends. Really, it was closer to being patrashed, whatever. But we were unable to die with them. That's why I was Nello's #1 best friend, Alois. But continuing to hold secrets, could I truly be called a friend? And also the fact that the girl herself would soon be dying. Just how long must that be concealed? The cicadas continued with their incessant crying. A few days after, today, a clear summer sky also spread wide. Under that sky, today the two of us went out into the courtyard. Whew, today's a bit hot, isn't it? Well, is it about time we go back? I want to stay out a bit more. As she spoke, she turned a happy face toward me. She had really become attached to me. It probably didn't need saying, but there were no people around of similar age. The majority of the 7th floor were the elderly. That was why, even more so, I made to always be near her. Huh? Why does this place not have flowers? Before her eyes spread a flower bed. Among the colorful flowers and the green grass that could be seen, only that corner was a barren state. Did they wither? Well, I can't say that they didn't. Oh, that's a little sad. As she spoke, she seemed a bit desolate. But that area was for flowers that bloomed in the spring. Having already finished blooming, they were simply gone now as they should be. But you know, next month they'll plant seeds again. I'm sure soon it'll be lively again. Okay. At those words, she once again answered with a happy face. To that girl, I continued with words that I suddenly recalled. The wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom. These are words from the book of Isaiah. And so I began to explain to the girl how in the 35th chapter there was the passage, the wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom. Like the crocus shall blossom. I don't know if I said that right. I don't really care at this point. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. I don't think I understand very well. Well, don't be sad because there's nothing. It is because there is nothing that joy can be born. Might be what it means? Wow, One-san's amazing. I'm not really anything like that. For some reason, the girl was impressed, but I denied it. I just know the words of scripture and saints, that's all. It's not as if they're my own words, you see. Then One-san knows a lot, doesn't she? Hmm? Well, I might know a lot about that sort of thing. A professor? A professor, eh? I wouldn't go that far, but it sounds kinda nice, doesn't it? Then, do you know about that? As she spoke, what she pointed to was the phoenix palm growing at the hospital's entrance. I've been thinking that's a pineapple tree, but... Pineapple? Mm-hmm. It's really big, right? Well, it's true that they looked similar. So, why do you think no one's eating it? She wasn't joking. I was pretty sure this child was saying it seriously. Should I correct her? Should I agree with her? For a moment I debated before. Yes, you noticed the important part, didn't you? Truth is, that's a pineapple tree, just as I thought. But you know, this absolutely must be kept a secret. Why? Because if everyone found out, it'd be eaten up, right? So until it grows much, much bigger, we're keeping it a secret. I see, just like a professor. The girl answered, as if greatly impressed. And you know, I also know some other things. What? What? With expectant eyes, the girl looked at me. And facing the girl, I took from my pocket rosary and... May the bountiful blessings and grace of the Lord be upon you. Joining my hands, closing my eyes, I offered a prayer for the girl. Okay, all done. What was that just now? Is it like a magic spell? A magic spell? Well, it's a bit different from that. Certainly if it were a saint or an archbishop, maybe it could have been called a spell or magic. But I was neither a pastor nor of the clergy. Clergy, I don't know. I am not Christian. I have never gone to church before. I have no idea what some of these words are. I apologize that I am very ignorant about this kind of stuff. But I try. Just one of the faithful. So it wasn't anything extravagant like a sacrament. It was nothing more than a simple prayer. Then a charm? Something like that. That, or just a way to ease the mind. From the start, I wasn't expecting it to be effective, and really, that reason wasn't why a prayer existed to begin with. But, well, since we're at it, calling it magic is fine. Got it. And then she showed me her usual bright smile. We who had become friends, Nello and Alois, up until now, even though we were supposed to be close friends, I, who could do nothing other than buy her ice cream. Such an Alois found one more thing that she could do for the girl. Chapter 13, Kindness. Hot. Without thinking, the word slipped out. It looked like today was also going to be a true midsummer day. And in that, while heading to the usual hospital, I turned to a different place. The church. Since that day before going to the beach, it was my second time coming here. For some reason, Himeko-san did not try to meet with Chihiro-san. More accurately, it was probably not just Chihiro-san, Family and friends, anyone close. One could believe that she was avoiding them. And so like this, it's in her stead I came to Chihiro-san. The same as before, as I quietly open the door, my feet step in. Chihiro-san. Ah, Satsumi-san. I've brought this. As I spoke, I handed over the key I was entrusted with. Himeko-san said to hand this over. I see. Thank you, in such heat. As she replied and accepted the key, Chihiro-san gave me her usual calm smile. And then from her pocket, she took out a handkerchief. The sweat was running down my face. She gently wiped it off. Thank you. So, can you tell One-chan for me? If there's a time that she needs it, tell her to just say any time. Alright. All while she was speaking, Chihiro-san continued to dab away my sweat. Well then. Wait a moment. May the bountiful blessings and grace of the Lord be upon you. Again, for my sake? For that question, there came no answer. But I am all out of time for this episode, guys. So it looks like that this is going to be the last chapter, and we might finish it in the next one. So, if you liked this episode, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.